Okay, June 20th. At first glance, it seems like a totally normal day on the calendar, right? Just another Tuesday or Thursday. But if you look really closely across different centuries and different countries, this wild pattern starts to emerge. We're talking about brilliant minds, all anchored to this single date, who literally changed the modern world we live in today. Let's meet them, one by one.
In today's explainer, we're basically going on a mathematical detective hunt. We're tracking 5 mysterious dots across time, all tethered to June 20th. Our journey spans well over 200 years. And to kick things off, I want you to jump all the way back with me to 1775.
But before we go dropping any names, let's start with something you've probably experienced. Have you ever actually stopped to wonder how video games smoothly rotate characters and those massive 3D worlds without glitching out? Like, how does your computer know exactly where every single pixel should go when you spin the camera around?
Well, that brings us to our first figure, Jacques Français, born June 20th, 1775.
Français originally served as a French army engineer before he really dove deep into mathematics. And his big idea was the geometric representation of complex numbers. Now, don't let that term intimidate you. Basically, he showed us a way to visually map out and rotate two-dimensional shapes using math. Fast forward to today, and our computer graphics and video games use those exact same principles to build and move virtual spaces. He essentially gave us the math required to build digital worlds.
And this brilliantly illustrates our first big takeaway. Every virtual world you explore is secretly built on math. Crazy, right? Okay, so we're still on June 20th, but let's rubber band our timeline forward to the year 1907.
Here's our next mystery. How did we get from those giant, clunky, room-sized calculating machines to the incredibly fast smart devices we all just carry around in our pockets every single day?
Meet John Womersley. Born, you guessed it, June 20th, 1907.
Womersley had 2 absolutely massive achievements. First off, he was a pioneer of modern computing. He actually worked alongside Alan Turing to build the ACE computer, which was one of the earliest and fastest electronic computer brains in the world. But then, later in life, he entirely shifted gears. He used those early computers to create the mathematical theory of blood flow. He literally mapped out how blood pulses through human arteries using math.
He helped build the first computer brains and map the rivers of the human body. Just an incredible mind. All right, same exact date, June 20th, but just 10 years later. Let's move to 1917 and see how this builds.
Think about the smart technology you use right now. How does artificial intelligence make smart decisions when it doesn't have all the facts? How does it guess intelligently when the data it's looking at is messy or incomplete?
Enter Helena Rasiowa. Born June 20th, 1917.
Rasiowa was a true survivor. She lived through the devastating Warsaw Uprising during World War II, and she was actually studying math in secret underground universities when it was strictly forbidden. Her massive contribution from all that intense study was in something called approximate reasoning. She created these mathematical structures that actually allow computers to deal with incomplete information. She taught them to guess intelligently. Without her foundational work, modern AI literally couldn't handle the messy, uncertain data of the real world.
She taught machines how to think when the world isn't perfectly black and white. What an amazing legacy to leave behind. Okay, let's keep our timeline moving. Fast forward with me to June 20th, 1966.
So we've talked about video games, computers, and AI. Now let's look at the ultimate mystery. How do we actually know the exact way our massive universe was born? How do we know it's stretching out all around us?
That brings us to Georges Lemaître. He passed away on this exact day, June 20th, 1966.
Lemaître was this brilliant Belgian mathematician and astronomer, and he used some seriously heavy physics to prove that the universe isn't just sitting still, it is actively expanding. And he realized something profound. If you rewind the clock on that stretching universe, it must have all started from a single, intensely dense point. He is the original discoverer of what we now casually call the Big Bang Theory.
And as he so profoundly put it, responding to scientists who couldn't initially grasp the concept, the beginning of the world happened a little before the beginning of space and time. I mean, that is just truly mind-blowing. Okay, let's make our final timeline jump to the year 1990.
Here is our last puzzle for today. How can we mathematically predict things that seem completely 100% random? Whether it's the chaotic movement of particles in a room or the unpredictable shifting of global weather patterns.
Number 5. Kosaku Yosida,
died June 20th, 1990.
Working in Japan, Yoshida became an absolute master of functional analysis. His crucial work focused on the mathematics of random processes, specifically something called the Hill-Yoshida theory. To put that in simple English, he gave us the mathematical tools to map out diffusion and seemingly chaotic movements. His formulas are the exact reason we can find order in things that look entirely unpredictable to the naked eye.
Because of his brilliant work, we know that even in pure randomness, math can find the hidden rules. It's almost like finding a map inside a hurricane.
And that brings us right back to our timeline. Take a look at these 5 incredible dots: 1775, 1907, 1917, 1966, and 1990, all seamlessly connected by June 20th. We have a French soldier mapping shapes, an English pioneer building computers, a Polish survivor teaching logic to machines, a Belgian astronomer rewinding the universe, and a Japanese genius taming randomness.
Every single person we met in this explainer today, across different centuries and totally different countries, all essentially asked the exact same question. What is the pattern hiding inside the chaos? And because they asked that question, our modern world has the technology, the virtual graphics, the AI, and the cosmic understanding